people are still on the level of, how can you guarantee that? How can you assure us na,
Yes.
I mean, yan ang plano ng committee nyo. Yan ang ihahain nyo, economic provisions lang. But really, how can you speak for all the congressmen and all the senators and say that nobody else will have any other suggestions here? Nobody else will discuss anything political here.
Ang sabi na ating speaker, and I took his word as a word of honor, that what we will approve and what we will tackle in the plenary is exclusively for restrictive economic provisions. Yun ang ipapasa natin. And I take his word for that. So yun po. And that's why hinikayat namin ang taong bayan to participate in the public discussion and debate.
Yeah, but
Because
Congressman, you
pero
understand
pag
where the
bumoto
question
kayo
is.
ng-
Congressman, you understand where the question is coming from. Every time we open a can of worms, any can of worms, in the House of Representatives and in Congress, in either house, hindi mo alam saan mapupunta. I mean, just as an example, yung ABS-CBN prangkisa, ang pag-uusapan doon, prangkisa. Ang pag-uusapan doon, yung regulatory bodies, yung BIR, SEC, NTC, and so on. Anong kinatapusan? Oligarkiya. I mean, it's just not to bring that up, but people, frankly, do not trust Congress to limit its discussions to what you're saying. The word of the speaker, whoever speaker is there, notwithstanding, it's just a very pragmatic, very real question. Wouldn't you at least acknowledge this is opening a can of worms? Every time we talk about charter change, the reality is nothing in the rules will bar any congressman or any legislator from saying, hey, wait, I have another bright idea.
And what about if you vote 3/4? Who's to stop the 3/4 vote on something that's not related to economic provision? So, in the same way that you're saying there's nothing in the Constitution that actually provides for a constituent assembly as a phrase. I mean, it's very clear there that a 3/4 vote is enough to actually amend the Constitution. So what's to stop you and your colleagues in Congress to actually vote 3/4 in favor of political amendments as well?
Well, unang-una, Lucy, yung pagdududa, andyan na yan. In fact, that was the argument that was used 18 years ago. And until now, yun pa rin yung argumento, kaya hindi ito napapasa. Time and time again, when we propose amendment to the restrictive economic provision, the critics will always say, ay nako, pampolitika lang yan. Ay nako, term extension yan. But if you look at kung ano nakasalang sa komitiba, sa constitutional amendments, it speaks of solely RBH 2, which is confined to the restrictive economic provisions. And that's also the committee report that will be approved by the committee and will be referred to the plenary. So, kung tatanungin nyo ako kung ano ang pagbobotohan, ito yung pagbobotohan pagdating doon sa plenary.
But, sir,
Yes,
if you
sir,
don't mind, I mean, you can take out, I mean, we'll grant you that. We can take out all malice, we can take out all pagdududa ng mga tao. We're still left with a practical question. You yourself started this discussion by saying there is nothing in the rules that says we cannot do this. Isn't that how every congressman thinks? There is nothing in the rules that will stop me. Again, the word of the House leadership notwithstanding, there is nothing in the rules that will keep me to the word of the committee chairman and the House Speaker.
Well, Ravi, we just speak about measures pending before a committee and the one that will be reported out by the committee, then it should be germane to the measures that was discussed and that was adopted by the committee. Di naman pwedeng na-approve natin, na-discuss natin sa komitiba yung economic restrictive provisions, tapos pagdating ng oras, pagdating ng committee report at pag-refer sa plenaryo, meron ng political provisions. So, let's, in the process, we really need to develop public trust. Yun ang issue dito, public trust and the timing. When you speak of the timing, they always counter this argument, timing. But as I have said, this is the right time to do the right thing.
Sir, if we can go back to the process, kasi in the end, it does boil down to the process. Let me put it this way. Is there anything in the process that could prevent any other congressman or any other member of a constituent assembly from proposing any other amendment that he wants in the plenary? And as we said nga, there is no process naman talaga in the Constitution. It's all blank in the Constitution, and I suppose you as Congress, as a constituent assembly, you are making it up as you go along, based on what you think should be done. So is there anything in this process that would stop any other amendment aside from what you have in mind right now?
So, ang gustong sabihin, ang tanong nyo, kung in the process of the period of amendments, may sumingit na term extension or term limits or political provision. Ang tanong, pwede po. Pero ang sagot ko, and I hold the word of the Speaker, that anyone who insert the said provisions, political provisions, will not be supported. And I agree with the Speaker because I think he has the support of the supermajority, and that will be taken down immediately.
But it can be subjected to a vote, Congressman. Or
Yes.
it can be subject to a vote.
Yes.
So it's
all
possible naman
all proposals, Ma'am Ami, will be subjected to 3/4 votes of all members of Congress. And that remains a proposal. At the end of the day, if it is not ratified in a plebiscite called for that purpose, it still remains a proposal. Kahit aprubahan ng House at ng Senado, kung hindi naman iratifika ng taong bayan, it remains a proposal. Amendments will only take effect upon ratification.